It was an issue, but I wasn't there. I was locked up anyway when this happened. This would have never happened if I was on the street. This was something he did on his own that somebody else recognized and caught him doing, and that's what led to that. We all know that's a lie. Like, and it's been a lie going on since the snitch word and calling me a snitch and all of that.
Peace, world. I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Info Minds Presents. Now we got the brother Dehaven in the building. Dehaven, introduce yourself to the people, man. For those that been under a rock, man, I know who you are.
Oh man, if you've been under a rock, you must have been under a whole mountain, bro. I'm the real Dehaven. Marcy Made, executive producer, one of Jay-Z's right-hand man's big brothers, Ken, everything, man. Quite sure by now y'all don't heard our story. The real Dehaven. It's not too many of those out there. The one Jay been mentioning for many years over the records, man. The real Dehaven, man.
Now on Drake's new song, Love All, featuring your former friend Jay-Z. Now Jay has a line, and I quote, "Want to kill me, and y'all want me to be friendly. Want sympathy after they wanted to end me. Now be those closest to it, be the very ones that envy." Now, Jay is known for subliminal disses. He's notorious for that. Now, the internet is saying this verse is directed at you. Do you feel that it was aimed at you?
100%. 100%. I don't know anyone else that knew him when they was calling him Sean. You know what I'm saying? Besides my family and me. So he wasn't talking about nobody else. He also was speaking about an altercation that happened with his life. And none of that transpired with him, with Dame. None of that transpired with nobody else he affiliated with.
And that song reference is basically implying that someone, and I presume that someone is you, tried to set him up and have him killed. Now, is there any truth to this?
No, ain't no truth to that. Anybody that been following my story, anybody that know us, know there's no truth to that. Especially after all that he mentioned on the records, shouting me out with love. He would have said that then. I felt like he saw Marcy Made, he seen Marcy Made, and he let it be known how he felt. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's false. And that's why, shit get out of hand like that. When people don't sit down and talk about situations, it could be two different sides of the story, man, where somebody got to be wrong. There's a lot of truth to that story, but it happened, but not under them circumstances, you know what I mean?
Okay. In the drug world, when someone is disloyal or does something foul, there are repercussions. We know that there's repercussions in the streets. Now, without going into too much detail, did Jay cross a line where he may have needed some type of discipline and you call yourself maybe giving him a straightening, or maybe like, G checking him a little bit or something like that?
Nah, he violated. It was an issue, but I wasn't there. I was locked up anyway. When this happened, this would have never happened if I was on the street. This happened when I was locked up. This was something he did on his own that somebody else recognized and caught him doing. And that's what led to that. When you say it was more like a warning that, you let him know about the stuff he do, you could say some of that as well, because the situation ain't carry out. And meaning, if that had been anybody else, that person wouldn't be here. That's 100%.
Okay.
So the person that did that has some leniency, has some respect and love for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it could have continued, you know what I mean? And that's what I talk about in Marcy Made about it, putting me in an awkward position.
Now, do you feel that verse is a response to your Marcy Made documentary? And where you talk about the incident, you go into a lot more detail in the documentary, which I want to remind the people, y'all, if y'all haven't seen it, y'all make sure y'all go check out that Marcy Made, which is out now. I was watching the clip from the 2000 MTV Diaries where you were shadowing Jay. You was running around with Jay at that time in 2000. Now there's a scene where Jay points to you to stop Beans from fighting in the club. Now, this is around the year 2000. Can you tell us about that day? Do you recall that?
If anybody that followed Marcy Made in one of those stories, I talked about that situation. That was only a situation where I really had to run Jay. I had to run Jay down, about my lawyer situation. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't responding to none of my calls. You know what I'm saying? He was half-assed sending messages. So I went down to Greensboro to confront him, you know, and that's what I ran into. At the time, he was doing the MTV shit. But that was one
I
of
wasn't
the...
together. You just happened to bump into him there.
I ran down. I ain't bumped down nothing. I ran down on him and down in Greensboro, like straight like that. That was the incident where, like I wrote a story about that. That shit is bugged out because that was the incident where I can't remember who slammed that door in my face, but I know Jay, Biggs, and a couple other guys were sitting in the van when I approached Jay. When I went to approach him and shit and holler at him and shit, he saw me, we locked eyes, and next thing you know, the door closed. Some real foul shit, man. I mean, it's a lot of story to this shit. Some real foul shit.
He was supposed to help. You was looking for him to help you with your lawyer. You started avoiding your calls, dubbing your calls. So you like, okay, you're gonna be over here. Then you made it your business to try to, run down and bump heads with him so you could confront him about fronting on you with the lawyer money.
Right.
Okay.
So when I run down on him, you know what I'm saying, that incident happened. And when they said to meet him at a club, and the door slammed, you know what I'm saying, they said, yo, Jay said meet him at a club on some groupie shit. So I mean, I felt at that time I already felt the disrespect. I felt I was on. First of all, I was on federal monitor, so I had to get permission. So I didn't want to go, violate that. But the disrespect with the slam, the door in my face, and the I was with, it was so embarrassing to me and my pride and my ego. I couldn't tell I was with. They just slammed the door in my face, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't even tell him that because he would have blew up the whole van. Like he would have blew up the whole van. So I didn't say nothing. So I went to the club, and when we got to the club, you know what I mean, everything worked out where, I got able to talk to him, and then we was on stage. But he wasn't really paying attention to me. You know how when somebody you talking serious shit and somebody, he hitting you with the, yo, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And that's what I had been hearing the whole time. And he ain't been producing nothing. So, he tell me, don't worry about it, man. I got you. I'm going to get at you, man. That's my word. Give me your phone number. I understand everything that's going on. And I'm like, all right, cool. And you try to, your friendship and everything y'all been through that he's going to be a man of his word. And that shit ain't work neither.
Was that the last day that you seen Jay in person? Or was that the last time you seen him or spoke to him in person?
Yeah, that's the last time I seen and saw him in person.
And that was like, what, the year 2000?
That was around 2000, yeah.
Okay, so it's been over 21 years, okay.
Exactly.
Now, the point I'm trying to make is if Jay knew you had put a hit out on him or you had wanted some dudes to check him, and years later, he was still cool with you after that, after whatever that initial incident was, and then y'all was still cool after that, then he must have a knowledge that maybe he was wrong for whatever that was for y'all to continue to go forward and still deal with each other.
He had to continue to say positive things about me afterwards. You know what I'm saying? To give it some kind of clarity, like he really messing with me. But nah, that shit was all a facade, man. It was all a facade.
So do you think this kind of contradicts his latest verse because he's on camera, you on the camera, you on stage with him in 2000, and this was after that. So do you think that that kind of contradicts the verse?
Everything. Man, he know that, man. He know I ain't trying. That's, you can look at things in so many different ways. That's him. When you run out of things to respond to fact, you can't beat the facts. And sometimes say some of the wildest shit that you can't explain, but we all know that's a lie. Like, and it's been a lie going on since the snitch word and calling me a snitch and all of that. I mean, we see through all of this, man. It's just about coming clean. You know what I'm saying? Come clean. That's it. It is what it is. I'm not looking for no money or nothing. I just come clean with all of this bullshit, man.
Now, do you feel that Jay is always playing the victim and everyone is the bad guy except for him?
You could say yeah in so many words because there's so many people that don't know. so they could cater to what he's saying. But I understand how you could play the victim, but you know what I mean, you be out here assassinating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can't play the victim and you assassinate on the other end, man. You know what I mean? That's hypocritical.
This is not the first time that that Jay has gotten at you on a song. And there's a line on one of his songs called No Hook. And I quote, "So F Dehaven for caving. That's why we don't speak. Marcy made men ain't supposed to make statements. End of story. I followed the code, cracked the safe." So back then, Hov was saying that you told, and that's why you don't speak anymore. But now he's saying that you tried to have him taken out. That's why you don't speak anymore now. From an outsider looking in, the shit is like confusing as hell, bro. From a journalist standpoint, it's like, right. All right, okay, so you try to, but maybe you can give us a little bit more clarity.
Yo, man, like I said, what are you going to say when people speaking the facts? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, he co-signing everything I've said already. But what he's not saying is what led to these situations. Even down to F Dehaven for caving, we knew he wasn't talking about snitching. We knew he wasn't talking about paperwork snitching.
Is there a difference in the street world? Is there a difference?
Well,
I mean, you could say he did it, or you could scratch your head and point with your elbows. It's the same thing, more or less.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. It's the same. It's pretty much the same thing. But one thing is leading someone to the jail system. Like, that's different. I mean, you can't be. That's a different kind of code there. Ain't nothing I've been saying or talking about that could put anybody in jail. So it is a difference, and there's people on here that talk about shit that's live investigations and end up in jail. So
Speaking of that line, right? So F Dehaven for caving. Now you're saying that there's no truth to that. You never said nothing that actually put anyone in prison. Now I haven't seen any kind of paperwork. So people say that you can't really put that jacket on someone without having the paperwork.
But what's strange is, my co-defendant is his right-hand man. So why would we even have to go through all this? You understand? Why we need to even search for paperwork? Why we even talk about paperwork when Emery is my co-defendant? That's my underlink on my papers. My charge papers, I'm at the top of the chart. Emery underneath me.
So what the streets are going to say that if Emery was your co-defendant and your name was at the top, then how come he wound up doing so much time and you didn't? That's what I mean. I got to ask the tough questions, bro. It ain't.
They're going to say that. They're going to say that because there's two things to that. Emery really got caught doing what he was doing.
Okay.
And me, they never had anything. I never got caught doing anything.
So why do you think that Jay put the snitch jacket on you? Why do you think that they put that jacket on you?
He put that jacket on me behind JV Exposed, the YouTube. That in his sense, that was snitching. That I brought all this business to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, there's nothing else you can label that to. It felt like I was snitching on the internet. Only for fast forwarded to 25, 30 years now. Look what these are doing on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I never took that. It was dangerous statement. There's so many ways you could take that. It was a dangerous statement that was being said, but the best thing about it was I done time. The best thing about it is really know me in the streets in different cities, and they knew it wasn't true, man. So that's what kept me walking around with my head up. You know what I mean? Like I ain't had nothing to worry about. I just think that was just a foul way of getting that off his chest. But at the same time, man, it gave Dehaven a name, because before that, everything was just mystery. You feel me?
Okay.
When he said "fuck Dehaven," I look at that was the best thing that ever could have happened to me. You know what I mean? I look at that like that was the best thing that happened. He gave the world my name.
Okay.
That led people to be like, well, wait a minute, who's Dehaven? And what Dehaven? And this and that and the third. Even though it was under bad circumstances, it gave me a name. Millions and millions and millions of people heard that.
Now, the CEO of Roc Nation is a former informer for the U.S. government. So when Jay says you and him don't speak because you made a statement, but then turns around and makes documented informants a leading figure at his company, isn't this contradictory and hypocritical?
So much. So much. But the real deal is, does it matter anymore? You know what I'm saying? They turning this into, does it matter anymore? You know what I'm saying? I'm beginning to sit back and realize, for all I fought, since he called me a snitch, for everything that I tried to do to show everybody I wasn't, and put my paperwork online, my case, and do all that, for what? For it to get to this where it's becoming where it really don't matter. All the rap songs and gangster songs, none of that should matter anymore. That when people was talking that honor and loyalty and all of that other stuff, none of that should be mattering anymore.
So what you saying? You saying that the streets have changed, that none of those street codes, none of those rules apply no more?
They're gonna always apply if you playing in that game, but the game is washed. We want to play when it's more them than us. We defeated. We defeated. The snitches don't run no more. Back in the days, if the government would hide them, government put them in Tucson, Arizona, somewhere in the country. Nah, it's no more.
Now, did you ever meet Desiree? Have you ever been around her in person?
Nah.
We hear a lot of talk of her name lately.
Nah. I think it was a reason now that they kept that distance. Like once she came in the picture, I know I wasn't nowhere around. And it was all a reason for him to keep him away from her, just to keep that shit distant.
Now, there's a famous line where Jay spits, lost 92 bricks, had to fall back, knocked off his feet, but I crawled back. Had A1 credit, got more crack. Did Jay really lose 92 bricks at some point, or is that just bars? That's just, raps?
It wasn't 92. They lost enough.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They lost enough. And when your clientele like that, it's easy to bring back. Man, that ain't you ain't saying nothing that ain't been done. And it sounds in a way where it's on a large, it's a large scale of things, but when you that dude, there's nothing to get back. You get what I'm saying?
Right now, I asked that question because, of course, Jay's been in the music industry for a lot of years now. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitation of anything is way past up and going past by. So, I'm not saying nothing that's incriminating. I mean, this is in his music. But do you think that Jay's rap lyrics are exaggerated, or was he really that guy before he got into the music game?
Nah. We did this before the cameras came on. That's without a doubt. Before them videos, we was doing it already. I know I was on it. The pictures speak for itself. The places, the time, and the people. Yeah, we was doing that shit before the rap game.
So what type of guy was Jay? What type of guys were you guys back in those days? Just paint the picture of the environment that y'all came from, and just the type of relationship, what type of bond y'all had. Just for the people that don't know.
Picture you having a brother and y'all just cake. Y'all getting money. I mean, next levels of money. And we went and coming from nothing. When I say coming from nothing, coming from 2 ounces, finding 2 ounces in the backseat of a car. You know what I'm saying? To me, fucking with Spanish Jose. You know what I'm saying?
Now, who is Spanish Jose?
Spanish Jose is one of the OGs in my neighborhood that watched me come up as a little kid, running back and forth to the store. And then he ended up being a major connection for me. With that I just took off from there. Moving out of, a lot of people don't understand, like, I missed a lot of New York myself. I left New York in 88. So it's a lot that I haven't, a lot of people that I don't know that was getting money at that certain time around. And, that's why a lot of people can't attach me to the tunnel when Jay was doing the tunnel and all that shit, because I was in other cities caking up. I was on some other shit. But just imagine it was everything, man. Buying him that first chain for his birthday. That shit was everything, man. My whole team looked like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see pictures of us, like, nah, it was never about a boss. It was never about me sonning him. It was like my little brother. If I'm going somewhere, I could leave him in charge. He know what's up. He around my family. That's the hurting part about it, the bond in this. I mean, yo, man, you can never get those times back, man. We had a great time coming up, man. Even though we wasn't aware of what we really was doing, but the shit was on another level. And I made sure my team looked just like that. Like, I really put effort into effort into seeing everybody eat. Man, when you look at my story and read my story and look at it, that was the downfall of my whole empire. Just wanting to see everybody eat. And it don't work in that game. You know what I mean? It's gonna be jealousy and envy in all kinds of ways. Man.
Now you from you from New York, you from the town. Now you said you left New York in '88, so I'm pretty sure you're familiar with guys like Fat Cat, Cream, Glaze. Now did you ever operate on that level where the feds would have viewed you or view Jay as kingpins on those guys' level?
For my era and their era is two different eras, so it's hard to say, was I on their level? But for the government to tell you on my transcript, you can see it in my court that I was responsible for 85%. 85% of the cocaine that was coming in on the Eastern Shore. Now, I don't know if you guys know how big Eastern Shore is, but if you go to your maps and Google that shit and see how many towns and how many, what the population and how many different spots is down there, I made people rich. The names that's associated with me, Klein and all of them, I got them rich. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody can tell you, or come on this internet that they've been fucking with me and they ain't get rich. Emery rich as young boys. You know what I'm saying? So to say I was on a whole nother level. People just didn't know it. I never exposed it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we from New York. It's only but so much attention that you want anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I kept it 100, but man, we went through a couple of mil easy.
Now, did you know Danny Diamonds? And did you or Jay ever work for Danny coming up at Shorty's?
I knew Danny, but not on a personal level where, what I'm saying, we was doing business. I knew all Danny soldiers and underlings and shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, I left in '88. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't exposed to Danny like that. You know what I mean? I was already gone.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of the OGs. Much respected.
Now I read somewhere, I can't remember where I exactly read it at, that Dame came to you to help raise the money to get Roc-A-Fella off the ground. Now, is that a misconception or is there some truth to that?
Say that again?
That Dame had came to you to help raise money to get Roc-A-Fella off the ground in the beginning stages. Is there some truth to that or is that just a misconception?
100%. 100%. 100%.
Do you recall the meeting that you had with Dame when he asked you about it?
100%. And it's, I don't tap into with the situation that much, but how to put it? How could I put it? Because I don't want how to put it. He asked me to help raise money, and he had some people he knew. You know what I mean? And he introduced me to some people and told me it'd be nice if I would bring my business to them. It helps. And I brought in some real high class people. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, I can't reiterate how long much later, but not too much later after that, I know I could recall sitting in Dame house, dropping off loads of money. And that while I was there, he went downstairs and came upstairs after the UPS man dropped off his first out, the first Roc-A-Fella, business label, his whole shit. All this shit is legal. And I can remember how happy he was. And he was just like, yo, it's over now. It's on now. You know what I mean? And what's funny about that story is I can remember a few months later after that, I forgot about all of that.
Okay. Now the critics would now say, well, Dehaven, you tried to, you tried to get some dudes to move on Jay, and Jay got shot at. So Jay was well within his rights to break ties with you. Now,
well, okay,
and
listen,
not
man,
to help you with your case.
Let me tell you something. First of all, everything goes out the window when it comes down. All that shit go out the window when them boys get involved. You know what I mean? You need to handle that other situation later. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're looking at a situation that could bring down an empire. You get what I'm saying? Some things are first priority. You need to handle first priority first. And with that being said, on the real, when they brought my case and you look at the transcripts, man, they said, yo, I came down with a whole gang of New York. It says it in my transcripts, right on trial. I was on trial. And you know who the only one was there? Me. So where was the gang of New York at? You know what I'm saying? So I ate this by myself, man. You know what I'm saying? For them to be like, it was an attempt on his life and you can't be friends with me. And let me explain something to you. I'm friends with that robbed me before. I'm friends that ran off with my shit before. I'm friends with them now. I'm cool with that. I know friends that one got in a wheelchair and that shot him is because they realize they older now and they realize that with the game that they was playing, those were the rules. Those were the rules of engagement in that game. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not mad at homie. Yo, homie, you robbed me. You ran off with 60,000, 70,000. That was then, bro. I'm holding grudges and not having no forgiveness, and that's where ain't gonna never find no happiness.
The critics always use Emory as a way to attack you. Now they say that Emory was loyal and Dehaven wasn't. What do you say to those people?
Emory was loyal to who? To Jay?
I'm assuming.
That's what he had
to the game, period.
What is he loyal with? They heard you. They got you. They got you on wiretap. They got you talking. They caught you red-handed. So I understand. Where do the stand-up and loyalty come at? Because the loyalty was there when he sat in front of Charlemagne, and Charlemagne asked him, well, how you meet Jay? And he couldn't say my name. That's the loyalty. So he's loyal to Jay. He ain't loyal to me. He couldn't explain how he met Jay.
Were you the person that introduced him to Jay?
Yeah, no. People don't know. Emory was when you know how that was my son. I had Emory at 15, 14 years old. Jay wasn't even down there yet. I was fucking with Emory. Keys to his house, keys to his safe. I brought Emory to my home in Trenton. Yo, Jay, Jay, this is Emory. This is my man down there. Woo, woo, woo. Brought Emory up top. Mama love. This is Emory. He good folks. Woo, woo, woo. He all of that. That's my son. Well, he loyal to Jay. He not loyal to me.
Now, speaking of loyalty, you almost got shot for Jay. Now they said that he got robbed or something. Can you tell us about that?
Nah, I got hit. He no hit. He tell you on record. I got my side sprayed up. I got hit, man. I got hit for him. I got hit because it was no way that I was going to be able to explain, not just his mother, but it was no way I was going to be able to explain to my mother that something happened to Jay. So I ate that. And he said that, man. You know what I mean? So that's why it's funny that, he's saying all of this stuff that I wanted to have him harmed and shit, man. Come on, man. I gave up so much for him to have what he have now. Why would I do that?
Now, some people say, why is Dehaven always talking about Jay? He's a hater. He's bitter. But they don't seem to acknowledge that Jay has been getting at you on songs in 2021. So you have the right to fire back and at least tell your story if you know you're being attacked and he has such a greater audience than yourself.
They're only looking at it from one side. They're looking at the money, bro. You know what I mean? I'm looking at all of these comments, and the first thing they say and they talk about is how broke I am. Oh, this broke. This broke. This new generation don't understand about. It ain't about no money. This is principles only and rules and loyalty and rules. And if they don't understand and can't get it at this point, their future and I hope they ain't hustling or in the game because it ain't gonna last long.
Now, do you feel that Jay has gone out of his way to damage your name and your credibility? Has there been any situations where people have refused to talk to you or work with you because of their relationship they have with Jay?
Hell yeah. It's something that if I ask for my particular people for an interview and they don't, it ain't that they refuse it. It's something that it's like, we know that this business is a conflict of interest business. Some people just think they got an opportunity with them over there at some point. Some people ain't even getting no money from them over that way. They just have a relationship and loyal to some of the people over there, and they just don't want to fuck with me. You know what I mean? And if that's your bread, I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? But if you your own boss, if you make your own money and your own decisions, you know what I'm saying? You do what you want.
Now, to the people that say, you know, at what point do we move on? At what point do we say, okay, this is, you know, this was stuff from 20, 30 years ago. You know, at what point do we say, okay, look, man, I need to go forward with my life? And the people that think that you are using Jay-Z to make yourself relevant, what do you say to
Am
those?
I using Jay, Ram? Am I using Jay or is he using me?
Well, vice versa. I mean, the same thing. Thing with Birth. Like, you know, not to say Jay is using your name to be relevant because, of course, we know he's Jay. But, you know, at what point?
No, he is.
Is there some malice? Is there some ill will there? At what point to where he feel that he's bigger than that, to where he shouldn't even mention you?
At this point, he using me to be relevant. He answering to this shit. Mm-hmm. And don't nobody want to hear that shit. Nothing other than addressing this. Really, when you get down to the point, they've been tired of me talking this for 20 years. Please, Jay, say what it is. Because number one, they don't want my story to be true. I don't know why. And I'm not trying to damage, I'm not going at this, prey on his downfall so he cannot be successful. I don't care about none of that. His success is my success. This is what people don't understand. I am the foundation of that whole shit. So when he's celebrating, I'm celebrating. Ain't no hate. And this is what people just find it hard to believe, though. I'm not coming up off of his name. This is a business for me. I got Marcy Made It. Marcy Made It is my product.
Okay.
You understand? And I need my product like blue magic out this bitch. You understand? Can I make it more clearer to people? Like, this is my product. This is what I talk about. This is the story of my life.
Now let the people know where they can let the people know where they can find the documentary at. Yes,
you can find the documentary. I'm on Amazon, man, and these last few days we doing really well, man. And it's just I feel like this is the success wave that I've been waiting on again. I've been missing these waves and not having a product to come back on. You know what I'm saying? When he done Best of Both Worlds and shit with R. Kelly and said that, I had nothing to come back on but this internet, and it wasn't popping. And then the comeback on the American Gangster, when he did that, I didn't have nothing but the internet to come back. I didn't have a product. And now, you know what I'm saying? Here we are again. Drake. On Drake shit, he addressing me. And I got a product to answer for. So if you've been following me or you interested in it, you should check out Marcy Made, man. And let's really, how you say, let's turn viral on Amazon, man.
Now for
I'm trying
Jay,
to do the same numbers Drake doing.
Now for Jay to mention you on Drake's joint, which Drake is one of the most biggest artists on the planet right now.
That's right. The Michael Jackson of rap. That's
for for Jay to mention you, can that be an indirect way? Because of course, I'm pretty sure Jay knows how the social media thing works. He knows how big that just a mention could be for somebody. Could this be an indirect way?
Yes, it's an alley-oop.
Throwing you a bone to see what you're gonna do.
It's an alley-oop.
What you gonna do with the attention?
Yes, it's an alley-oop. It's an alley-oop. And I have nothing disrespectful to say. I mean, that's his comeback. I'm not gonna be rude or just keep talking. You know what I'm saying? This is an alley-oop for me. You know what I mean? This helps clarify everything I said. You know, it's a blessing, and use it as a blessing, because he could have not said anything. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm gonna use this to my benefit like they would do. And I'm gonna talk about this, I'm gonna talk about it, and people going more engaged and want to hear from him again. So it makes him relevant. When you look at Reasonable Doubt, what was that was my life. You know what I'm saying? So for him to come up off of my life story, what's the difference here? What am I doing wrong?
So you say like in some of his songs on that album, Reasonable Doubt, he was telling your stories?
Reasonable Doubt is not my whole life, man. This is everything I brought him in front of. That's everything from New York to Maryland and all, if you listen to it.
Now we ain't gonna hold you up too long, but in closing, man, what's next, man, for Dehaven? What's next?
All right. What's next is the Marcy Mays series, man.
Okay.
The Marcy Mays series, man, so you can see it. So you can sit back and watch. You see how 50 doing it with the series and how Snowfall is with the series. And I just want Marcy Mays so you can see it in the raw form. You know what I mean? We on our shooting our second episode coming up. It's just gonna be a great look, man. Follow the story, man. It's gonna be good. That's my goal, man.
So the Marcy Maid documentary, you following that up with a series?
Follow that up with the series.
And you said you already shot one. You on episode 2 now.
We already shooting the second episode. You know what I'm saying? We trying to wait till we get 4 of them in the bag and shit before we start airing out and show you, you know. So, and it's gonna be good that people could relate to it already before it's even coming out.
Okay, so who you working with? Anybody you working with on this project that you want to mention? Any, you know, without letting the cat out the bag, you know, production wise, anybody you working with?
I've been sticking with the same team, man. Industry Labs, man. Shout out to my partner Baines. I've been sticking with the same people, the same T Monique, Pretty Gangster, Monica. I've been, the same people, man. Ain't nothing changed with me. I'm looking to grow though. I'm looking to get a bigger production team, man. So
shout out to Baines, man, from Industry Lab, man. It's a good brother, man. Shout out to Baines from Industry Lab, man. Y'all make sure y'all
that's one of the
do some good work, man. You've done some work for us in the past as well. Good,
man. That's just been it, man. And it's gonna be, and like what you said about next year, man, I already know that's gonna be dope. I got the vision on how y'all trying to carry it, and I trust what y'all do, man. Your work is nice. Man.
We appreciate it.
It's just gonna be a pleasure to be working with some honorable guys, man. And it's for us to shine, man. It's time for us to break into that industry, man. Like, it ain't no more great stories out there and producers out there like us and putting out this content.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact, man. So what's anything you want to say in closing, man, before we let you get out your way, man?
I want to thank everybody that's supported Marcy May already. I want to thank everybody that's going there from your platform that's going to go check it out. Maybe we could do a recap with people that got some more questions that it wasn't clear to them on there.
Most definitely. And I just come back for a round table, man. We're gonna put the link to we're gonna put the link in the description. Like I said, man, y'all make sure y'all go check out the Marcy May documentary is out now. It's available on Amazon. And he's speaking his truth, man. So y'all make sure y'all go check it out, man. And I'm gonna get out your way, man. I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate
you, man. Nah, man, mother. I've been waiting for this opportunity from you guys, man. So, man, I appreciate it a lot, man.
No question, man.
I'll see you at the top, man. We'll be at the top.
Appreciate that, man. Yo, look, y'all stay tuned, man, for the Dehaven episode coming on the InfoMods platform as well. That's coming soon as well. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Go check out that Marcy Maid documentary available on Amazon. And you know how we say it, man. Peace and one love from the InfoMods and for the culture family, man. Y'all be blessed.
Peace, man.